Hello everyone. So today this is a very interesting topic we are having the class on the Indian presidential election procedure. It is a matter of curiosity for the general masses, the citizens, that how the presidential election takes place. Because in books also, if you read some of the technical issues like the formula for calculating the values of MLAs and MPs vote value. So why the technical formula? Could there be any other system like first past the post system that we follow for Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, and also the Panchayati Raj election and for the wards of municipality? But why do we have indirect election system? Why? What is proportional representation mechanism by way of single transferable vote mechanism? Why the 25th July as the date for president to occupy the office? And such date was there since the constitution was in inception? Answer is negative. It used to be 16th of May. And why 25th? I'll tell you about this once we are taking this issue up. But to begin with, I will be starting with kind of basic information, the constitutional provision for the president, and then some of the technical things I will be including in, and then I will be taking you to the main mathematics behind the presidential election system. So should we start? Okay. So you know that part 5 is there in the constitution, right? And part 5 is about the union legislature, union executive, right? And it goes up till article 151, from article 52 to article 151. Before that, BPSPs are there, and before that fundamental right, before that citizenship, and before that union and its territory. Okay. And this article 21 is including the provision for Supreme Court also in it, that we cannot include. But from article 52 to 73, this is chapter 1 of part 5, and we talk about union executive here. And generally article 52 to 73, we are having president and vice president, specifically the powers, the elections, the terms and condition, everything. But when we talk about the president, then article 52 to article 61, we have very specific provisions for the president office. Now, when we talk about article 52, what does it say? It says that there shall be a president of India who will be head of the state. And this is a word shall. We are not using a word will. There shall means certainty, grammar wise. Okay. And he will be head of the state. But is he head of the government? Answer is negative. Right? He will be head of the state, but he will not be head of the government. But now the gap between these two is very much connected to the Indian president election system that we are following. And this gap you can cover by referring to what is called as article 74. Now, if we talk about article 74, article 74 says that there shall be a council of minister headed by whom? Headed by Prime Minister, to aid and advise the president every time. Even if the council of minister is not there, there is a caretaker government. The dissolved Lok Sabha work as the provisional Lok Sabha, the provisional council of minister is there, even if it is not in power, as the caretaker government to aid and advise the president. Now the combined setup of article 52, 53 and 74 makes the position very much complex and also clear for why we are having such president who is sometimes called as rubber stamp, right? Sometimes a puppet, sometimes a president who is not to be the president, and sometimes a sleeping partner of the democratic affairs. Okay, sleeping partner is a standard term in the Companies Act 2013. The one person who is investing, another person is executing, so that way. Now, Article 52, as I told you, that it is saying that there shall be a President of India. Article 53 is saying that all the executive power shall be vested in the President, who is to be the Union Executive. All the work shall be done in the name of the President. But there is aid and advice available from Council of Ministers headed by the PM. And because of this fact, the President is the nominal head, or you can say de jure head, whereas Prime Minister, who is the Council of Ministers Sardar or head, he is the real head, and this real should be real here. He is real head in the movie Reel. Okay, and here we have what is called as de facto. In English, we can read it as de facto means in fact. De means in, facto means fact. So in fact, right, the Prime Minister is the main whole soul hero, captain of the ship, okay, sun around which all the planetary moves are there. Okay, fine. Now, as the position is very much clear that Article 53 and Article 74 are to be read together, as the Supreme Court has also categorically mentioned in many of the tussles cases between the center and the president, and you can say even the kind of powers that president is having for the Supreme Court, that Supreme Court needs to advise for many of the matters. Now, is there a need that do we need to have a president from that costly mechanism that we follow for Lok Sabha election and Vidhan Sabha election to elect the real head, the de facto head? The president, who has to act and act on the basis of the advice rendered by the democratically elected Council of Ministers, either for the state or for the center. For state, it is governor. Here we have the president. So the costly affair, because Lok Sabha election, 2 months political campaign, right? So many freebies, also a night, okay, and kind of rupees distribution, mixie, somewhere cycle, TV also, down the line south, okay. Amma is no more, but known for many freebies. You know Amma? Who is Amma? You are saying Jayalalitha, I have not said anything so as to create any virality out of this video. Okay. And Didi is still there. Who is Didi? Okay. You are saying West Bengal. Okay, maybe I am accepting. There is Bahenji also. What is the difference between Bahenji and Didi? No? Both the words are same. But here, lot of difference. From UP to West Bengal. Not only geographical distance, but also party difference. Okay. Now, coming back to the main point. So, the costly affair in Lok Sabha, wherein all the even Swiss bank accounts are squeezed. This time, energy and money, we cannot afford to have another person who will be a nominal or de jure head. And for this, what we are having? For president, we are having indirect mechanism, which is secret ballot. It is not open. So the whip will not be applying. Okay. Whip is out of anti-defection law, Schedule 10, if you might have heard. Okay. 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So whip is not there. So once when Mulayam Singh ji was voting for, so PA Sangma was also there. So he was to vote, right? But by mistake, he gave vote to another candidate, and out of the kind of perplexion, he just voiced that okay, my vote galat ho gaya and all. So दूसरा ballot paper देने पे they came to know that whom he have voted for by mistake. So his vote was not accepted. It is called as not valid vote, invalid vote. We accept only the valid vote. So first was not opted or taken by the parliament because it was open, and second was not because you have already voted for. So that way it happened. So indirect, secret, proportional representation system. By means of single transferable vote mechanism. Mechanism I have written in short. So in short, I can write it as PRS, and this I can write as STV. Okay, PRS and STV. Now, one by one, we can have this system. So indirect, it means people will not be giving vote for the president, but the institutions or the people, the candidate elected by the citizen of India shall be voting for the president. And who are all? Who are they? Lok Sabha, then Rajya Sabha, then Vidhan Sabha. And people have voted for, means elected. Right? And for this purpose, we are having something called as Electoral College. This system is very much different from US election system. Therein, the 50 US states, they have the means two-party system is there, and in every state, party is having candidates, two candidates, and people are voting for them. And these two, either of these two candidates is elected, won. He or she comes to the center to vote for the presidential candidate, and it is made and broken, right? It is there for only for that purpose. But here in this electoral college, do we have this mechanism running, or do we have some other exercise? No, we have this system running. Now, if we talk about the electoral college, we are explaining things about indirect word only. For the clarity, what I can do, I can rewrite here indirect, and I told that people are not voting for president, but the candidate elected by the people votes for it. And we have electoral college, and in that we have elected MPs from Lok Sabha and from Rajya Sabha, and elected MLAs. Okay. Now it means the Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Sabha, if there are, and these are there in the state, MLCs are not in it. Okay. Then the nominated MPs from Rajya Sabha, how many nominated MPs are there? 12. From the grounds of art, literature, science and social service. Art includes sports also. So Sachin Tendulkar, right? So art, literature, social service also there. So social service means any service. So Vijay Mallya sometimes. Social service, गम बुलाने के लिए मैं तो जिए जाऊंगा. Okay. So it happens. Everything happens in a democratic country. So 12 nominated members, they are not there. And also the Rajya Sabha, the Lok Sabha MP of Lok Sabha, the nominated one, How many? 2 Anglo-Indian. They are not there anymore. Okay. Now, if we talk about the numbers in the parliament, we are having president, Lok Sabha and we are having Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So what is the maximum strength of Lok Sabha? It is 552, right? By till 2026. Okay. But since population is not more in India, so we are having 545 for Lok Sabha. 2 used to be for Anglo-Indian, and rest 543 are elected from the states and also from the union territories. But these Anglo-Indian people, nominated people, can be there, but these are there. Since provision is there, it is good for the government, because through elections they are not coming. But in exam, if there is a question that Anglo-Indian can vote for the presidential election this time, then answer should be yes, because this Anglo-Indian can be through elected or so that is what I am saying. So they are not there. Only 543 is the existing accepted figure. Okay. Now for Rajya Sabha, how many? 250 is the maximum strength, but since population is less, we are having 245, and out of this 245, we are having 233 indirectly elected MPs, and rest 12 MPs are nominated by the president from art, literature, science and social service. 4 grounds, no 5th ground, right? So 233 plus 543, how much? Am I correct? 776. Now we talked about whom? We talked about MLAs also, right? How many elected MLAs are found in India? So the figure is as of now 4,120. Okay. So if we add this thing in it, 776. So how much it should be? 4896. Okay. There is also a question that if one Vidhan Sabha is dissolved or has been dissolved during the presidential election, or president elections are due, will presidential election be held or not? It will be held. It is, the constitution is very much clear about it. It happened before the emergency time, that because of the kind of protest, right? So in Gujarat, deliberately MLAs were not allowed to go to the Vidhan Sabha. Wherever the MLAs were there, people were having people were encircling that MLA, and he or she was not able to reach. And by force, they were made to resign on paper. And since that, we have the amendment that if such resignation by force has been taken by MLA, it should not be in open, because it is a legislative act. It has to be done under the roof of the legislature, right? So many things happened in past. So there are stories. So this figure you will be remembering, 4896. Digital board and normal board, no comparison. Normal board is far better than the digital board for a normal teacher like me. So the indirect word is very much clear for you, but we are not talking about this digit. We are talking about the vote value. If we talk about the vote value, we have to use 2 formulae. We will be talking about it, but for time being, in total, MLAs and MPs vote are more than 10 lakh. इतना तो वजन भी नहीं होता होगा जितना ये लोग वजन उठाने के लिए तैयार रहते हैं. Anyway, So indirect word I think is very much clear for you. Now we talk about secret. Secret simply means the whip is not valid for a secret ballot, and so that the MLAs and MPs are able to express their choice. What if I am from XYZ party or Alpha Beta Gamma party? But for Lok Sabha, for Vidhan Sabha, anti-defection law is there, and you see the situation in these states. From Mumbai, there is a flight directly to Northeast, and in hotel people are enjoying. Right? If all the parties are on one side, but Shiv Sena on another side, that was and used to be the story. But anyway, so secret has directly connection with an appearance of whip. The next word is proportional representation system. Proportional representation system is also called as Hare system, right? In 18th century, it was given by Hare. Why? Because if geographically one country is large or population is big, or vice versa case is there, to save the time, energy and money, or the education level of the population is good so that they can understand that election mechanism or not. For India, when people, we are not talking about education, literacy or illiteracy, first past the post system, in short I am writing FPPP, first past the post system. जो पहले दौड़ के आगे हो जाएगा वो जीत जाएगा. फर्स्ट पास्ट द पोस्ट मतलब जैसे ये लैंप पोस्ट है जहां पे लैंप जल रही है, ठीक है, और यहाँ पे दौड़ने वाले हैं, तो बचपन में ऐसे ही तो करते थे. तो इस लैंप को जो पोस्ट को जो क्रॉस कर लेगा सबसे पहले वही जीतेगा. ठीक है, 100 वोट देने वाले हैं और 10 कैंडिडेट हैं, 10 को 10-10 मिले तो बराबर हो जाएगा. मान लो किसी को 11 मिल गया, ठीक है, और सबको कम ही मिला तो ये जीत जाएगा एक वोट की वजह से. This is called as first past the post system. This is the simplest of all the electoral systems so far, right? There is a two ballot system, list system, proportional representation system, and STV, that is single transferable vote system, is also separate, but we can have different class for it. Proportional representation simply means the political parties will be given the vote in proportion to whatever they have got. Means if there are candidate and there are 100 votes and these 4 candidates have been, or 4 symbols have been voted for, and say for example in XYZ political party there are 100 candidates, they have given the list, and out of 100 this has got 40, 30, 20, and how much left? 10. Okay, so this is the proportion of the total vote value. So from this party wherein 100 candidate list was there, only first 40 candidates shall be in power, 60 will not be in power. This is called a proportional representation system. But here proportional representation system for president will be defined in terms of the vote value, right? Vote value accrued from MLA side or MP side, right? And for this we are having 2 formulae to calculate the value of MLA and MP. What are those formulae? I can write it here. MLA's vote value equal to total population of that state divided by number of elected, not nominated, elected MLAs in that state. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है कि बगल वाले स्टेट से भी उठा के ले आओगे आप. In that state into 1000, right? Total population of that state divided by number of elected MLAs into 1000. First of all, this digit has been included to just neutralize the big values, because this formula will be used for all the states in India, right? And total population of that state, say for example, if we talk about UP, okay, अकेले ही काफी है वो बहुत सारे स्टेट को सेटल करने में पॉपुलेशन वाइज, ठीक है। यूपी के एमएलए की वैल्यू, एक एमएलए की वैल्यू पूरे के पूरे सिक्किम विधानसभा के सारे एमएलए की वैल्यू के बराबर है। यू आर गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? इट हैपेंस दैट वे। तमिलनाडु और झारखंड कोइंसिडेंटली दोनों के एमएलए की वैल्यू को बराबर रखा है, मतलब बराबर है, because of the decimal points. Okay, so that's how it is. You understood this MLA's vote value. It will be used again and again in every state. And total, if you have the addition, it will be approx but more than 5 lakh. 5,49,000 plus, right? So 5.5 you can say. Now, when you have all the MLA's vote value, you then can go for MP's vote value. MP's vote value. So what is MP's vote value? Total elected MLAs, E for elected MLAs vote value from all the states, it is omitted, I am not writing it here, divided by number of elected MPs. E means elected MPs from Rajya Sabha and from Lok Sabha. In total, I have already told you how much? 776. How? 233 from Rajya Sabha. 12s have not been included, and 543 from Lok Sabha. 2 are not there, or they were there, so they were not included. But जो राष्ट्रपति को जिंदा करने में काम आता है, जिंदा करने में काम नहीं आता, वो उसे मारने में जरूर काम आता है, क्योंकि उसी को जिंदा करना होता है वाइस प्रेसिडेंट को. इट मीन्स nominated MPs are used in the vice president election, and impeach यदि करना है प्रेसिडेंट को तो nominated MPs इंक्लूड होते हैं. ये एक क्रिटिसिज्म भी है, राइट? सो हमेशा याद रखना, दुनिया में आपके साथ खुश होने वाले लोग अलग होते हैं और जो ना खुश होते हैं वो दूसरे लोग होते हैं, ठीक है? बहुत कम ऐसा होता है जो सुख दुख के साथी बने. सही बात है कि नहीं? आप लोगों ने तो ढूंढ ही लिए होंगे. Now, MP's vote value and MLA's vote value, the question I think was there in the prelims also, right? Last year, that sometimes in one of the option 1000 was not there or 1000 was there in the MP's vote value. These two formula we use, and when we talk about total MP's vote value, so what we are doing it here, say for example 5.5 lakh, this is the total value divided by 776, we will be reaching certain number. And if we are multiplying it with the same number, we will not be reaching the exact value, the total sum of all the 4120 MLAs, but it will be lesser because of the mathematics, decimal things. In Constitution, it has been written clearly that till 3 positions after Dashamlav, that is the decimal point, will be calculating the value. And if the value is more than 5 point something, we will be calculating is as 1. If it is less than 5, we will be forgetting about it. We will not be adding it. Okay. So this is something that was sufficient for proportional representation system mechanism. नाउ प्रोपोर्शनल रिप्रेजेंटेशन सिस्टम का एंटोनिम क्या होता है? एसपीटीपी. इफ देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन इन प्रीलिम्स कि पीआरएस में क्या वोट वैल्यू बराबर होती है? आंसर इज नेगेटिव. क्या इसके अंदर में वोट वैल्यू सबके लिए बराबर होती है? आंसर इज यस. है ना, क्योंकि ये सिंपलेस्ट ऑफ ऑल है. चाहे आप राष्ट्रपति की तरह वोट कर रहे हैं या फिर आप रिक्शा पुलर हैं, आपकी वोट वैल्यू 1 है. दिस इज द justice mentioned in the preamble also, democratic justice that India is having, that vote value irrespective of your education, your richness or poorness, nothing, vote value is equal to 1. This is very big difference. Okay, now we talk about single transferable vote mechanism. This T is very important, transfer. So when you might have voted in Lok Sabha or in Vidhan Sabha election, the EVM, okay, the buttons were there, and here we have the symbols and the name of the candidate in alphabetical order, right? And you had only one choice, either of the button, and in last there is something called as nota. None of the above. Okay. But here the ballot paper is different. I am explaining about XGV. So for example, there are 4 candidates. उनके कुछ नाम रख लेते हैं या फिर ABCD कर लेते हैं, सबसे अच्छे होगा. In one of the song was there of Amitabh Bachchan. ओल्ड सॉन्ग. एक रहन ए, एक रहन बी, एक रहन सी, एक रहन डी, उस एंड देयर आर लाइंस. इफ यू कैन गूगल इट आउट लेटर आफ्टर द क्लास. सो इन दैट मेमोरी ABCD 4 candidates are there in the presidential race. Now instead of the button in the hand of the MPs and MLAs that are elected, we are having the preferences here. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? For A, I think now it is fine. For A, you can take here. आपको A की शक्ल अच्छी नहीं लग रही है, C बहुत अच्छी लग रही है, लेकिन इन सब की उम्र बहुत ज़्यादा ही होगी. Because qualification wise, if you go for that, any person can become president if he or she might be 35 or more than that, citizen of India, right? Mentally fit हो, मतलब पप्पू ना हो, you know पप्पू, right? In short, I can write it as RG. I don't know who is he. Okay, dimple is also there. There's a hint. Okay, and should not be insolvent, right? Insolvent means विजय माल्या ना हो, means लोन बहुत ज़्यादा चढ़ गया है आपके ऊपर और पूरा घर बिकने के ऑर्डर हो गए, नीलामी हो गई, फिर प्रेसिडेंट बन के कैसे करोगे? हालांकि द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के बारे में I was just seeing some of the video. She was, I mean, all the reporters and all. There are 6 rooms now, president house. Okay. So anyway, so this is a qualification, and also I forgot to mention that 50 plus 50 mechanism is there to be in the presidential election race. If you want to contest election, 50 proposer and 50 seconder, in total 100, means they both are separate and they can be MP or MLA. So it means it is bringing gravity to the presidential election race कि कोई भी आके इलेक्शन को कॉन्टेस्ट कर रहा है, ऐसा तो फिर ग्रेविटी डाउन हो जाएगी ना. प्रेसिडेंट का ऑफिस मीन्स मैसेज इज गोइंग across the border and globally it is. And you must be surprised that earlier it was 2 plus 2. There used to be a person, Hari Ram. Initial 4 times lost the election, 2 plus 2. Then finally in 1970s it was 10 plus 10. It was increased to 10 plus 10. And then in 1997 this was done, right? So there are stories behind this. And in 1967 there were 9 candidates who did not get any vote. Means the proposer and seconders did not vote for them. Means जिन लोगों ने उन्हें रिकमेंड किया उन्होंने भी उनको वोट नहीं डाला. There were 9 candidates. Okay. So now 100 number is sufficient. 50 plus 50. Proposer and seconder. Seconder means after the paper has been filed, another 50 MLAs or MP shall be going in front of the returning officer to approve and endorse that yes, this is a person. Okay. Now we can talk about this STV. So there are 4 brackets wherein you can put the value, or you can say there can be a ballot paper wherein A, B, C, D, 4 candidates name has been written and you have to put either 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, 2, 1, 4 like this. Preferences तो होनी चाहिए, है कि नहीं है? हम हर जगह कंपैरेटिव इंडेक्स करते हैं, है ना? प्रेसिडेंट हो, अकल भी अच्छी हो, दिखने में भी थोड़ा अच्छा लगे, अंग्रेजी भी अच्छी बोल लेता हो, है ना? और इतना भी पपेट ना हो. नॉर्मल लाइफ में भी तो होते ही है ना प्रेफरेंसेस, है ना? So that's how it is. Anyway, now this single transferable vote mechanism is giving the structure for the ballot paper. But if we talk about the value is to be achieved or to be there with the presidential candidate, what is that minimum value is decided by quota system. And it has simple formula. It was also given by Hire. Total valid vote divided by number of seat or vacancy plus 1, and there is separate plus 1, right? Now in the presidential office, how many seats vacated? 1. Okay, this value can be X. So for example, we are calculating it as 100. Okay. So what is the value? 2, 50, 50 plus 1, 51. Very hard math. है ना? 50 plus 1, 51. So at least 51 vote value is to be achieved by one candidate. So we can say more than 50 in any sense. Maybe some decimal thing working, or this is also working. How this valid vote is working? Say for example, this is the ballot paper A, B, C, D. Now 4, 1, 2, 3. This is valid or invalid? invalid. Right? Now, this is valid or invalid? Invalid. Invalid. Okay? So, anything which is other than kind of secret or voting mechanism that I told you, one instance was also given, right, of the Mulayam Singh ji. So this mechanism is working for the quota system. So here this value is to be achieved. Now we can go for the real time presidential election. So say for example, there are 4 candidates. A, B, C and D, and 100 is the value. And in this presidential election, the voting is not taking place, right? Or you can say not the counting is taking place in one round, but there are rounds wherein the preferences are counted. Because when you have voted for in Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha, you have given vote. But these elected MLAs and MPs have not given vote. They have given what? Preferences. So in the first round of counting of vote, the first preference is counted. So we are counting what? Preference. And that is why we are having what? Rounds of counting of vote. So in the first round, I am writing it here as first round. This A out of 100, first preference I am talking about, is getting 40, B is getting 30, C is getting 20 and D is having 10. That's fine. Now to make this concept very clear in your mind, here A is all set to win, but still he has not reached this digit. Okay, more than 50, not 50, more than 50. Second round of counting of votes shall be conducted. Now instead of A, shall be vying for B so that he should win or she should win at B as B, not A, to clear the concept. Okay. In the second round of counting of vote, we say tata bye bye to the person who has got the least value. We eliminate that person from the race. And these ballot papers are reopened to see the next higher preference after the first preference has been counted. Okay, now we are reaching for the second round. This is a game changer of entire story. If you have understood this, you have understood the entire election process. Now this has been eliminated. His 10 ballot paper will be reopened here to see the next higher preferences for rest of the candidates, and these rest of the candidates are A, B and C. Since we have to keep up this B candidate, what shall we be doing? We are giving this 7, 2 and 1. That's fine. Or we can do one thing. 1, 2, then also it is fine. We can write the same number here. No, because second round of counting of vote, we have reopened the ballot paper of D to see the another higher preference. D का एक बैलेट पेपर कैसा होगा? किसी ने दिया होगा तो A, B, C, D. तो इसमें किसी एक कैंडिडेट के लिए जहां पे 1-1 होंगे वो तो हमने काउंट कर लिए. उसके बाद सेकंड हायर प्रेफरेंस देखना है तो या तो वो ए के लिए होगा या बी के लिए होगा या सी के लिए होगा. तो उसी प्रेफरेंस में हमने उसी ऑर्डर में हमने उसी फाउंड प्रोपोर्शन में हमने डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दिया. इज इट अंडरस्टूड टू यू और नॉट? यस. सो व्हाट वी शैल बी डूइंग हियर? 1, B 7 and C 2. So we are reaching to what number? 41, 37 and 22. Still no person has got more than 50, but the least value is C. But now we will be having third round of counting of vote mechanism, wherein we be removing this C, and we will be reopening the ballot paper of this C, and here we are having 20 plus 2. These two ballot papers are different. When we have opened this 20, we will be finding preferences for whom? Either A, B or D. We have not opened it so far. Only the first preference was counted, that was for B. Now rest of the three preferences are for A, B and D. And rest two that were coming from D side, we are opening it again to see rest of the preferences, and the rest of the preferences are either for A and for B. For D and C has already been counted. Right? Now, in this 20, what we are doing here, we are giving 15 to B and 3 to A and 2 to D. That's fine. And for A and B, we are giving 1 each. That's okay. Now, since this D is not coming to be calculated here, we have to reopen it again. We have to reopen it again here to see the next higher preference. Now, already we have counted all the preferences in this D, and here we are having either for A or for B. So what do you think? We can do one thing, 1 and 1. That's fine. Is it understood to you or no? Any doubt? This is the game changer. This is not there in any of the book I have read so far. पानी वानी पीना हो तो पी लो, क्योंकि ये पानी पिला रहा होगा आपको. Okay, now what shall we be doing? In addition to this 41, we will be counting what? This number, and this number. Okay, so 3 plus 1 plus 1, how many? 5. So total 46. Yes or no? और पता है जब इसके बाद 40 आई थी ना, तो जितने भी वर्कर्स थे, पार्टी वर्कर्स होते हैं, 10-15 हज़ार किलो लड्डू एंड फायर क्रैकर्स और झड़ियाँ वगैरह डेकोरेशन के लिए सब ऑर्डर हो गया था. एक तो चीफ मिनिस्टर भी थे एक स्टेट के, उनके लिए हुआ था, लेकिन पता चला फिर बाद में गड़बड़ हो गया. तो एक बात ये, ठीक है. सो एनीवे 46. नाउ बी के लिए काउंट करेंगे यहाँ पे 15, 16 एंड 17. और तो कुछ नहीं बचा, तो यहाँ पे 17 और जोड़ देंगे. कितना हो गया टोटल? 54 एंड 46 कितना होता है? 100. LHS इक्वल टू RHS, hence proved. 54 पे दिस पर्सन वॉन. जो जीत नहीं रहा था वो बाद में जीत गया. सो लास्ट मिनट पे कभी भी फैसला ना करें अपने बारे में, दैट आई कैन नॉट डू और आई कैन डू. ठीक है, टॉर्टोइज रेस. सो दैट्स हाउ इट इज. नाउ यू मस्ट बी थिंकिंग कि ऐसा सबसे बड़ा मार्जिन कहाँ पे रहा होगा. डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद had more than 99% of total vote value when he won. And डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद बाबूजी बोलते थे उनको इज्जत में, क्योंकि मीरा कुमार जी से मैं मिला हूँ और उनके लेक्चर जो मैंने अटेंड किए हैं, कुछ वीडियो हैं ऑडिटोरियम में उनके मेरे साथ. तो वो बाबूजी बोलती हैं। मीरा कुमार जी और बाबूजी का क्या संबंध है आपको बताइए, क्या संबंध है? कोई संबंध नहीं है, ठीक है। एनीवे, ऐसे बहुत सारे संबंध है जो आपको नहीं पता है। जैसे सी राजगोपालाचारी जी समधी हुआ करते थे, किसके? गांधी जी के। वाइस प्रेसिडेंशियल कैंडिडेट जो गोपाल कृष्ण गांधी खड़े हुए थे, उनके नाना जी कौन थे? सी राजगोपालाचारी जी। दादाजी कौन थे? महात्मा गांधी। ये नहीं पता होगी आप लोगों को। एनीवे, नाउ डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद और नेहरू जी जो चाचा जी हैं, उनका बहुत अच्छा खासा तालमेल नहीं बैठता था। लेकिन पार्लियामेंट जब अपने आप में एंडोर्स हुई कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की तरफ से, तो यही हुआ कि यही बनेंगे। और सिंस इलेक्टोरल कॉलेज कॉन्स्टिट्यूट नहीं हो सकता था, 52 में इलेक्शंस हुए थे। पहले राज्यों में इलेक्शन होने थे विधानसभा के, उसके बाद में राज्यसभा बनी, फिर लोकसभा, उसके बाद में 1952 में इलेक्शन हुआ। तो उस टाइम पर जैसे रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट इज गाइडिंग लोकसभा एंड विधानसभा इलेक्शन, ऐसे ही इसके लिए जो इलेक्शन होता है, प्रेसिडेंट एंड वाइस प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्शन एक्ट 1952 पास किया गया था। मैंने शॉर्ट में लिख दिया है, प्रेसिडेंट एंड वाइस प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्शन एक्ट 1952। तो इट इज टेलिंग ऑल दी kind of mechanism for indirect, secret, proportional representation system and you can say single transferable vote mechanism. तो डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद तो यूनानिमसली जीत रहे थे, 99% से ज़्यादा वोट लेके आना, मतलब इट शोज द ग्रेविटी ऑफ द पर्सनैलिटी दैट इट इज एक्सेप्टेड बाय ऑल। ऐसा सबसे थिन मार्जिन जो कि डेमोक्रेटिकली और डेमोक्रेटिक टेस्ट के हिसाब से वेलकम नहीं होता, श्री वी गिरी के बारे में था। डॉक्टर जाकिर हुसैन 1969 में गुजर गए थे और 2 साल का टर्म उनका पूरा होने वाला था, लेकिन 2 दिन रह गए थे। ये भी एक क्वेश्चन बनता है कि यदि प्रेसिडेंट का टर्म उनके रिजाइन से या उनके अदरवाइज वैकेंसी में हो जाए तो काउंट होगा या नहीं। तो फिर ये रूल बना कि 2 साल यदि कंप्लीट हो गए हैं तो वो एक टर्म की तरह काउंट होगा। यदि 2 साल में एक भी दिन कम है वो काउंट नहीं होगा। तो उस वक्त क्या था, इंडिकेट और सिंडिकेट चलते थे। इंडिकेट नॉर्थ कांग्रेस होता था और सिंडिकेट साउथ। सो के कामराज, निजलप्पा, राइट? सो दे वर नॉट वांटिंग दैट द लेडी, द देन लेडी प्राइम मिनिस्टर आफ्टर इमरजेंसी should be in very good happiness kind of state. So they wanted a person in the president office जो उनको कंट्रोल करके रखे। एंड नीलम संजीवा रेड्डी जी ऐसे पर्सन थे। श्री वी गिरी वाइस प्रेसिडेंट थे जो प्रेसिडेंट की तरह एक्ट कर रहे थे। यूएस के अंदर एक्टिंग प्रेसिडेंट नहीं होता है, ठीक है? वहां पर जब एक्टिंग प्रेसिडेंट बने थे किसी के असैसिनेशन के बाद में, तो क्या वो जिद पे अड़ गए कि इस प्रेसिडेंट से पहले जो एक्टिंग वर्ड लिखा है इसको हटाओ, तभी साइन करूंगा कहीं पे। और कहते हैं कि बस यही हुआ, दैट एक्टिंग वर्ड वाज रिमूव्ड। देन यूएस में प्रेसिडेंट होता है, जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है, प्रेसिडेंट बना तो वो प्रेसिडेंट होता है, यहाँ पे एक्टिंग प्रेसिडेंट होता है। नाउ वी गिरी वाज एक्टिंग प्रेसिडेंट दैट टाइम एंड अभी उनको प्रेसिडेंट बनना था और कोई दूसरा पर्सन नहीं था, बिकॉज इंदिरा गांधी जी वांटेड। इसका मतलब कांग्रेस से 2 प्रेसिडेंशियल कैंडिडेट आ रहे थे, सिंडिकेट और इंडिकेट, राइट? सिंडिकेट मतलब साउथ इंडिया का जो कांग्रेस था, और यहाँ पे इंडिकेट मतलब इंदिरा गांधी भी बोलते हैं उसे, आई फॉर इंडिकेट, नॉर्थ इंडिया का कांग्रेस। तो वी गिरी जी को रिजाइन यदि कराया जाए तो रेजिग्नेशन रिसीव कौन करेगा? वही रिसीव करेंगे। अच्छा, यदि वी गिरी जी ने रिजाइन कर दिया तो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट की पोस्ट भी खाली, प्रेसिडेंट की पोस्ट भी खाली, अब बनेगा कौन? तो उसी वक्त एक्ट बनाया गया कि यदि वाइस प्रेसिडेंट और प्रेसिडेंट दोनों ही नहीं है ऑफिस में तो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया होंगे, और चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया भी नहीं है तो सीनियर मोस्ट जज होंगे। अभी कोई एक भी है तो भी वो सीनियर मोस्ट ही होगा, ठीक है? तो हिदायतुल्लाह साहब जी ने सीजीआई पोजीशन संभाली और वी गिरी ने एज एन एक्टिंग प्रेसिडेंट रिजाइन किया और दूसरे दिन अपने ऑफिस में जाके एज अ प्रेसिडेंट अपना ही रेजिग्नेशन रिसीव किया, इलेक्शन लड़ा। और नीलम संजीवा रेड्डी एंड इन दोनों के बीच में ये था कि फर्स्ट राउंड ऑफ काउंटिंग ऑफ वोट में ये नहीं जीते थे वी गिरी, हु वाज लीडिंग नीलम संजीवा रेड्डी। इन सेकंड राउंड ऑफ काउंटिंग ऑफ वोट he got this much because of the decimal game. And इंदिरा गांधी जी ने ये बोला कि पार्टी से ऊपर है प्रेसिडेंट ऑफिस, तो अपनी अंतरात्मा की आवाज के ऊपर ये चीज आप करें, वोट डालें, तो उनकी अंतरात्मा की आवाज सुन ली गई। ऐसा अंतरात्मा की आवाज के रूप में ऐसे कई सारे सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस भी हुए हैं, जैसे हंसराज खन्ना साहब हैं। इमरजेंसी के टाइम पे इंदिरा गांधी जी के खिलाफ HR खन्ना साहब ही एक ऐसे जज थे जो डिसेंट मतलब क्या होता है कि यदि 5 जजेस बेंच है तो डिसेंट में जैसे 4:1 का जजमेंट गया तो 1 में अकेला वो अपोजिशन में खड़े हुए थे, राइट। एंड अजीत नाथ रे, AN रे was given this position because he favored her means the then lady prime minister in most of the cases, right? So 3 judges so far have contested the कृष्णा अय्यर भी हैं उसमें प्रेसिडेंशियल इलेक्शन, तो वो अंतरात्मा की आवाज़ सुनी नहीं गई। तो ये एक लिखने वाली बात होती, कभी ऐसे आ जाए डेमोक्रेटिक टेस्ट के ऊपर। ऐसे ही चाचा जी जब नहीं चाहते थे, जो मैं आपको बता रहा था कि जो प्रेसिडेंट डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद हैं वो दोबारा बने, 56 में जब इलेक्शन हुए तब 36 का आंकड़ा हो चुका था, ठीक है। रात को सपने में भी नहीं देखना चाहते थे चाचा जी बाबूजी को, ठीक है, खाना ना खाएं दूसरे दिन, ऐसा हो चुका था, क्योंकि वो सेक्युलर स्टेट बनाना चाहते थे। और बाबूजी कभी मंदिरों में पहुंच जाते थे, सोमनाथ मंदिर का इशू, तो थोड़ा सा ऊपर उठ के देखना होता है चीज़ों को। तो एक प्राइवेट मेंबर बिल लाया गया था 56 में, ये इलेक्शंस जो है, जो प्रेसिडेंशियल इलेक्शन में 2 बार से ज़्यादा टर्म नहीं होगा। तो राजेंद्र प्रसाद जी ने खुद से ही ये बोल दिया कि मैं इलेक्शन नहीं लड़ूंगा, तो फिर प्राइवेट मेंबर बिल लाने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी। ऐसा US में भी हुआ था, एक रूजवेल्ट करके प्रेसिडेंट थे, 1 आफ्टर अनदर 4 बार प्रेसिडेंट टर्म में रहे, 4 years का होता है, राइट। जनरली प्रेसिडेंट US में रिपीट ही करते हैं, ऑफ कोर्स एक्सेप्शन वाज द वन लेटेस्ट। गलती हो ही जाती है, ठीक है, अब उनकी कंट्री है, वो लोग हैं, वही चॉइस कर सकते हैं, राइट। तो नाउ जब रूजवेल्ट जी थे, उनके सामने तो किसी की हिम्मत नहीं थी बोलने की। जब वो खत्म हो गए तो लोगों ने बोला भाई दूसरे लोगों को भी चांस मिलना चाहिए, तो एक लिमिट तय की जाए। तो फिर US में यही रूल बना कि 2 बनेंगे, और ये यहाँ पर 1956 में हो रहा था 2 टर्म्स मैक्सिमम, वहाँ पर 1951 में हो चुका था US के अंदर, राइट। US के अंदर में बेसिकली आई फॉरगॉट टू टेल यू 538 सीट होती है अगेंस्ट 776 हियर। 538 का मतलब क्या है कि जैसे वहाँ पे लोअर हाउस एंड सीनेट, तो सीनेट की तो टोटल आपको पता ही है 50 × 2 100 सीट है, एंड 2 फिक्स हैं सभी की, राइट। एंड उसके अलावा 535 सीट लोअर हाउस की होती हैं, उसके अलावा 3 सीट और हैं। ये 3 सीट आती हैं वाशिंगटन DC से, डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ कोलंबिया, DC मीन्स, राइट। सो 538 सीटें होती हैं। यहाँ पर क्या है कि इलेक्टोरल कॉलेज बनता है और फिर वो खत्म हो जाता है। यहाँ पे कैंडिडेट वोट करते हैं, यहाँ पर जो बने बनाए MPs एंड MLA हैं वो लोग वोट करते हैं, राइट। इनडायरेक्ट वो अपने सेंस में है, हमारे सेंस का मतलब थोड़ा सा डीप है, हम लोग थोड़े ज़्यादा पढ़े लिखे हैं, तो US वाले इतना नहीं है, वो सिंपल चीज़ों को समझते हैं, हम थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ चीज़ों को समझते हैं, ठीक है। सो दिस इज ऑल फॉर द प्रेसिडेंशियल इलेक्शन, एंड आई थिंक दिस टाइम ऑल्सो देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी डिस्प्यूट, एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट एज सोल आर्बिट्रेटर शुड बी कीपिंग इट इन द पैसिव मोड, एंड 25th विल बी देयर। 25 जुलाई मेरे लिए पर्सनली इसलिए अच्छी हो जाती है क्योंकि मेरा उस दिन जन्म हुआ था, सो आई थॉट दैट वे कि मेरे को ये वीडियो बनाना चाहिए, और थोड़ा सा मेरे सेलेक्टेड स्टूडेंट से भी ये थोड़ी सी गुजारिश थी कि इसको थोड़ा सा डिकोड किया जाए, क्योंकि ये जो गेम चेंजर है यहाँ पर फॉर्मूला के बाद में D की वैल्यू A में कैसे गई और B में कैसे आई, ये किताबों में शायद नहीं मिलता है। आई होप यू लाइक्ड इट, एंड कोई ऐसा टॉपिक हो तो जो लोग ऑनलाइन भी इस वीडियो को देखेंगे बाद में क्लास के बाद, वो कमेंट बॉक्स में बता सकते हैं ऐसे कौन कौन से डिफ़िकल्ट टॉपिक हैं पॉलिटी के स्पेशली, जिसमें आपको डाउट लगता है और मैं आपकी उसमें हेल्प कर पाऊँ। So till the next video, thank you very much.